Welcome into this 3-round mock draft of the San Francisco 49ers, a team that has been so close to reaching the pinnacle, to walking away with the Lombardi Trophy, only to have it snatched out of their grips by Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs and other teams as well, with injury concerns not making it, and there's a lot of other things that just have not been able to win that trophy chase. Even after having one of the best rosters, best teams in the entire league, it still eludes them. Have they done anything so far in free agency, in your opinion, to help get back on track?
No, this free agency is kind of sad. Honestly, they've lost a lot of players in free agency, right? Not everyone I will mention, when we do our kind of a recap, but they've lost 17 players this free agency. Yeah. So some of them pretty key additions to those, or key parts to those wins and Super Bowl appearances. So yeah, it's not going to be very great.
Yeah, I think definitely a topic is going to be if their window closing or has it closed altogether. Definitely not something we'll get into here. This is just during the mock draft, but definitely something probably as the season approaches that we'll definitely talk about. I know will be a hot topic as well. But in this particular opportunity, we're just going to be doing a draft. Try to get them back on track, replace some of those players that were lost, and see if they can get back as prominence in the NFC and making the run at the Lombardi. So before we go ahead and get started with the actual draft, I know you already mentioned they had 17 departures. But let's go ahead and talk about the key additions and the key departures that they've made so far in free agency, Chase.
Yeah. So before we get into the key part of that 17 departures, let's talk about the additions, because that list is sadly shorter, right? The key additions that I found, and this has not been a very eventful offseason in adding players for the Niners. They grabbed Demarcus Robinson. Welcome to San Francisco, buddy. And Mac Jones, right? The Mac Jones. This was the rumor when in the Trey Lance they wanted Mac Jones, and in the end they got Mac Jones as a backup quarterback to Mac Jones Sr., right? Brock Purdy, like very very similar quarterback play. So kind of found a home there in Cali. Now the key departures. Now let's get into this. Right now some of them have been traded. There's been 2 players traded. They moved off of Deebo Samuel Sr., which is something that we've kind of been calling for a while here, right? We kind of seen that writing on the wall. They did it, I think, the best way possible. That was kind of the first move. And then after they did that, not a big deal. And then after what followed, I'm like, whoa, it's like a snowball effect, right? And they also moved off the Jordan Mason, which I don't think matters at all. But he was a nice little replacement, but hopefully Christian McCaffrey. Then they released a couple players out of the key players that they released. Javon Hargraves, the guy that they added that was supposed to be the missing piece in the Super Bowl to stop the run. They added him. He is now gone. And Leonard Floyd, right, the former first-round pick that bounces around from team to team to team to team, he is now looking for his next team. Then just the free agents they could not afford back. Talanoa Hufanga. I probably didn't do the greatest for that, but Hufanga, that safety, he is signed along with teammate Dre Greenlaw. They both signed with the Broncos. Guard Aaron Banks is now gone. He's with the Green Bay Packers. Charvarius Ward signed with the Colts, right? Those are kind of like the major ones. Elijah Mitchell's no longer there also. So yeah, those are like the major ones that just are no longer there. Josh Dobbs has also left, so that's why they brought in Mac Jones. But really, those are the huge ones. Oh, and Jalen Moore, the tackle is gone as well to the Chiefs. So they had some key departures here. That really this took this roster from this team's got to be a Super Bowl contender. It's when, not if they win it. To now it's like, oh, can they win a playoff game?
Yep. Yeah, it was a very depressing season, especially from coming off of dramatic overtime Super Bowl loss to Kansas City the year before, bringing everybody back. I mean, they didn't really have hardly any turnover. We look at as far as like a Super Bowl team roster standpoint, and just couldn't do it. Injuries happened, just inconsistent play, just everything was kind of in shambles. Like the world was falling. We talk about a Super Bowl hangover. That was like a Super Bowl hangover times infinity. Like that was like the drop off was was insane. I think they finished last in their division, actually, if I'm not even, they finished last in their division. I mean, they go from Super Bowl to last in the division. Like, that's
with
just,
the Cardinals and the Seahawks in it.
that's just, I mean, the fall there is incredible.
Yeah.
That's incredible, especially when you look at obviously the roster and the coach that they have. When we take a look at their coach is in regards as one of the best in the league, and just so the fall there was just everything just did not go in their favor at all. But now we have an opportunity here to fix that here with the 2025 NFL draft, and we're going to do our best to try to replace some of those players that were lost and see how we can move forward here for the 49ers. So with pick 11, which last time they had a terrible season, they benefited in lucking into getting Nick Bosa really early in the draft. So they do know how to take advantage of the seasons where they don't perform very well. So John Lynch has proven to be a very good general manager to be able to make some key draft picks here and building up the roster. Pick number 11, just outside the top 10, flirting there at the top 10 if they feel like they want to trade up. We will not be doing trades, so we are just stuck in here at pick number 11, all subsequent picks. It is our 3-round mock draft. We'll go ahead and get started here. So really, 49ers to me are a really intriguing team of what they can do here at pick number 11, because they have a variety of different ways to go. I think that it might just be, best player available to them, who comes here at 11. So going here at pick number 11 here, let's take a quick stock here. What's going on? Obviously, Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, Ash Genty,
Campbell,
Judd Campbell at number 10.
That's wild.
And is up there. So
I agree. Most of those players probably will be gone. I don't know about Jacob Campbell, but
yeah, the order there, but most likely it wouldn't be shocking if neither of those are player available. So nothing crazy, even though some of those might be a little bit out there, PFF. But what can we do? So looking at the San Francisco 49ers, obviously looking at positions of need everywhere.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I said here, where we kind of look at kind of best player available that fallen us to here at pick number 11. So we're looking at, obviously, it's giving us some here. What are your thoughts here, Chase, on pick number 11?
Yeah. And my thinking is this. I mean, I don't think you'd go wrong here, but I really like Will Johnson in San Fran. I think that they have a decent defensive line. They lost a lot, but they still have Nick Bosa, right? Yurdo Gross-Matos, who's not like a great guy, but he's going to be able to produce on the other side of Nick Bosa, right? Because he's going to get double teamed. He's going to be able to produce. They're going to be getting the ball out fast, right? They can blitz Fred Warner if they need extra pressure. And this defensive backfield is just atrocious. I mean, you have Trey Brown, Malik Mustafa, Jair Brown, Ricardo Green, and what is it? Demondre Lenore, whatever his name is. He kind of showed up last.
Demodor
Lenore, yeah.
That's onomatopoeia.
No, onomatopoeia that's alliteration.
What are you, an English teacher?
I'm trying to be. But no, so Lenore is good. But other than that, that's an atrocious, and especially when you have the guy that I think is the best pure cornerback, second best actual cornerback in this draft class at Will Johnson, to come in and work with you just said his name in the entrance, Saleh as a defensive coordinator. I think that would be great, but I don't think, looking at some of these names, I don't think there's a bad way to go.
Yeah, I don't think there's a bad way to go. You know me, if you've been following along, I'm a huge fan of Mike Green. I love Mike Green. Actually, one of my perfect fits actually was to have him in San Francisco. I love the idea of him being there with Robert Saleh, being on the edge with Nick Bosa, be able to have a guy that can get after. He's not going to be asked to do the heavy lifting because Nick Bosa is asked to do the heavy lifting. So the double teams and everything that's going to help against Nick Bosa was going to free him up to do his thing there on the end. I think as far as a guy that has a ton of potential to get after, I think going to 49ers, being under Robert Saleh, I think would be fantastic. Pick number 11, though, might be a little rich. I won't lie. I do love Mike Green, but pick number 11 might be a little too high. I mean, if you believe in him, go for it. So I wouldn't be mad about it. But as well as, the defense, I think defense for sure is the pick here. I think, they need offensive line help too. So I don't.
I say Kevin Banks would be the only guy
they've got.
Consider.
They've got a lot of different things here. So Kellen, but yeah, as I was saying, I was like, defense maybe not for sure be the pick here. So I think for them, what they're going to have to come down to is the position of value they need most. Is it going to be offense? Is it going to be defense? And then where to go? I wouldn't be mad about Will Johnson, though. I think they can go either way. I think they can go tackle here, Mike Green, or edge. I think they can go cornerback. Whatever it is, I think is all on the board here. It's just going to have to be, obviously, their rankings of who they have. So let's just agree on a side of the ball, right? We have, as far as the tackles, offensive line goes, Josh Allen, Kevin Banks Jr., like they're still here. If we did a tackle, I think we're both in agreement, it'd be Kelvin Banks Jr. As far as defense goes, we have the two guys here that we prefer, Mike Green or Will Johnson. So let's just stick on one side of the ball, offense or defense. Where do you think what matters the most here, based on the players available? Which side of the ball?
Yeah. I hate to say it, but I think Shanahan needs his tackles figured out to be successful, right? Brock Purdy's not a very elusive guy. He's really a pocket maneuverer, but not mover. So I really, as I'm saying, I like James Pierce Jr., Mike Green, Will Johnson would be so great. But Trent Williams, Kevin Banks, two massive powerhouses, locking down your offensive line that gives you kind of opens up your run game again. It allows you not to have to keep George Kittle in as an inline blocker like they'd had to so much last year. They can open up that again. That might be the move. I'm willing for you to talk me out of it if you're against it, but
I'm not against it. That's the thing. I think offensive line is a solid move to make. I don't think you can have. It's a priority. Offensive line is a priority. So I think we can do Kelvin Banks Jr. here. I wouldn't have a problem with it.
Yeah, we could probably get an edge player later in the draft. We could probably get a cornerback later in the draft. Are we going to get a tackle that can come in and start right away? I don't.
Definitely not. All right. Yeah, I think we rationalized that pretty well. Let's go Banks here. All right, I'm back here at pick number 43 in round 2. All righty, so we've got our tackle here. Now we can take a look at some other things here. So as far as cornerback goes, we have a guy that I like a lot. Trey Amos is still here. Benjamin Morrison and Seal Harrison's here. As far as defensive line goes, right interior. As far as edge rushers goes, edge rushers pretty much gone. Princely's still here. I know you're a big fan of Princely here. So that's still here. So that could be an option as well. Cornerback, though, I think might be the better option here because we do got some top end here. We got Trey Amos for Benjamin Morrison. I like Trey Amos. I'm a big Trey Amos guy. I think he does a little bit of everything. I think he's solid in the back end. Can press. He can kind of go all over the place, and I think he's pretty solid.
Yeah, I'm a big Trey Amos guy. I have Trey Amos as I would have Trey Amos as my fourth rated cornerback. And I think Trey Amos reminds me a lot of Eric Stokes, where he's a very man-to-man, very sticky cornerback with absolute top burner speed. That's something that defense, just an athlete in the backfield, could be great.
Yep.
So
when he gets beat, he can turn around and catch up and make a play. Yeah. So really athletic guy. So I like Amos a lot here. I think it's a pretty solid pick.
Yeah. And I agree with I like the cornerback pick over our edge pick because as edge would be a nice pick, we have Nick Bosa. We don't have a cornerback. I think it would be a luxury pick to pick someone on the other side of Bosa without dealing with our backfield.
All right, our 2 picks here in round 3. We've got our compensatory pick at 100 and then our normal pick here at 75. So we've gotten offensive line back in here. Now we can take some other stock here at defensive line, still in the defensive backfield as well. Kevin Winston Jr. is the guy that we like. Even Olufemi Oladejo is here. I think we've waited here for edge. Those would be a perfect place to kind of grab an edge rusher here at pick number 5, and Olufemi here is the guy that we like. I think this value here could be really solid for him.
Yeah. Look at the drop off between the athletic guy that pops on the tape versus Elijah Roberts, who I'll be honest, I haven't researched Elijah Roberts a lot, but I know that a UCLA edge rusher is going to, especially again, this is a guy that doesn't have to pull his own weight. All he has to do is clean up Nick Bosa's traps. And I think the athleticism with I'm not going to attempt that yet. I'll get it. I'll get it in 9 days. But yeah, I think it would be a very, very positive signing for us.
Yeah,
Look,
I like
mostly drafted by the Niners. We're in range with.
Great PFF. Awesome. I like it. And then our compensatory pick here at 100. Just to review where we're at, we've got a tackle here, shore up the offensive line, and then we've addressed defense, right? We got a solid guy in the backfield and cause havoc, and then a solid player at edge rusher to back up there, Nick Bosa. And then we've got our compensatory pick here, where now we can kind of take a look at some other things here. So we've got offense and defense mostly here, but that's where we've lost most of the players on defense. So we got to really replenish that, right? So we can draft, develop, and pay.
Yeah.
And so now here on the clock here, so we got to take a look here. I mean, wide receiver is not the biggest need, but it's also could be a place that we can add.
I mean, yeah. The problem is we just, like, as the Niners, they just took a luxury pick on Ricky Pearsall in the first round.
Yeah.
So right now they're sitting with Ayuk, Jawan Jennings, who really had a coming out party,
and DeMarcus, and you said they got DeMarcus Rose. Yeah. So
correct.
Yeah.
So I don't, even though the value's here, I know.
Yeah.
I don't see like that being successful for us in the future.
Yeah.
I mean, oh yeah, interior. No, that's a good spot. I was going to say I don't think there would be, but if linebackers left, that wouldn't be bad to grab depth after losing Dre Greenlaw, which I think his loss in the Super Bowl 2 years ago was the reason they lost the Super Bowl. So if we could grab a depth piece of linebacker, but I don't think there's one that I like up here. No, I mean, like
Kaiser. I like Kaiser, but he might be a little bit of a bit of a reach here at 100.
We're on the same page. I like Kaiser, but yeah. So maybe that's a guy. If this was a full round mock draft, Kaiser might be our guy. But
yeah, there we go. Seth McFarland, interior liner at center.
Colby Connor's a baller, strong player, played tackle at Iowa, moved to guard this last year. We wanted to go guard. They lost.
This will probably, and then let's be honest, this is probably where they're going to draft a kicker because the 49ers do ridiculous things.
Yeah, this is probably a running back, to be real. Like they just traded Mason and dropped Elijah Mitchell. This is probably a running back because the Niners just can't have enough of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Devin Neal's there. Or Jaden Blue. Jaden Blue is a Kevin Stefanski guy. Like he's a speed demon, right? He ran like a 4.32, 4.34, something like that at the combine. So yeah, this is probably Jaden Blue or Devin Neal. I mean,
Devin Neal is kind of like a Christian McCaffrey-esque.
Yes.
Kind of too, where you can obviously run the ball, but you can catch the ball dynamic as field, so you can kind of pair him up there. So I wouldn't be mad about that either. A nice little compensatory pick at the end. Draft a little bit of running back, Devin Neal, Christian McCaffrey duo type of thing. That could be solid. The compensatory picks are kind of hard because there's extra picks that you can kind of get here to make a difference. But I wouldn't be mad about a Devin Neal pick here.
No, and I think that would be highly realistic. I don't know much about old Martinez there, but I'm watching Miami tape. I'm not watching them run the ball with their quarterback there. So, but Neal or Jaden Blue, all right, or it doesn't look like Mr. Brayshawn Tutton is still there. That's a very.
Let's take a look then really quick at our guards too as well, because that's another position he does. Before we get all trigger happy with the running back, Willie Lampkin here, Sigmund Lawrence. So he didn't play any guard though at all. So not to say he couldn't move out there, but let's take a look here at Willie.
Who they have at center right now?
Yeah, he played at. So he's got experience all across the entire interior offensive line. So you could play a little bit of both if you need to. Like, look at that. A lot of staff at center, then split between right guard and left guard into the right guard. So I think maybe this might be the better Willie Lampkin here. Just that experience up in the interior of all positions, right? So you can plug him and play in wherever. I think running back is fancy and nice, but not as a big a position need as the offensive line. So I think how we've got it here, not flashy, not sexy, but it's necessary. I like a Willie Lampkin type of player pick right here.
Yeah, I do too.
I like the diversity here that Willie provides.
Yeah,
let's do it.
Absolutely. And losing Aaron Banks, right, and Jalen Moore, you can get potentially a swing tackle along with a guy that can plug and play, right? They move offensive linemen around all the time. So I don't mind that
Yeah,
at all.
and they've always got injuries as well. So, who knows what
Yes.
can happen here. So,
Ooh, PFF did love
all right.
it.
PFF love that. So, Kelvin Jr. So C minus, A plus for Amos, A minus there, then a D at Will Ankren there. So, listen, I don't really, and obviously we don't go by necessarily what PFF says, but
No.
I think overall, I like Kelvin Banks Jr. a lot. He's my number 2 tackle in the draft. If you want to go over our position rankings to understand more, we go in depth. You can check out our normal podcast episode. But just what he did. Okay, speak English. I need you to tutor me today. We've got he was top against the top 25 power forward. He played nine of the top 25 defenses in the power four last year and had 2.2% rush rate. So he's phenomenal against the top tier talent in the league and the college level. I think that can translate over to the NFL level. So I think that's a smart pick there. I don't really know why they hate that pick so much, especially when PFF specifically tells us themselves that tackle is a need. So it's weird to me that we pick a tackle and they put it as a C minus. But either way, I think edge rusher can go there. Like I would, like I'm between edge rusher too. Like Mike Green is there. Like that could obviously be an option as well. I don't hate that at all. But I don't know. And maybe it's just kind of the recency bias when I look at what happened with the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. It's like, man, if you don't have an offensive line, it doesn't matter where you have everywhere else. You can't do jack. So let's fix the offensive line. Let's get it the best we can. I think Kelvin Banks Jr. adds that. So I really like the draft. I think we fixed the offensive line. Or we added depth to the offensive line, and obviously on defense, round 2 and 3, I think we really nailed that. I think those are great picks.
Yeah, no, I disagree with PFF. I like all of our picks for what we have, right? The Niners had a really rough outing, and the Niners are at the best when the offensive line can move people. Brock Purdy has a clean pocket, can deliver to the playmakers and the run game. Because the running back, no matter who they have running the ball, right? We passed on Devin Neal. They could get a guy later in the round. They could just rely on Christian McCaffrey. Hopefully, he could be a workhorse, right? But the run coordinating, right? The run setups are designed by one of the best run guys in the NFL. So
Yep.
I am confident that's going to work. They just need the players to do it. Kevin Banks, right? They've been trying to find a tackle forever, right? They drafted Mike McGlinchey 5 years ago now in the first round, pick like 6, and I think it was 2018, right? With Baker Mayfield, they drafted him. So they need this tackle. I think Kevin Banks is better than Mike McGlinchey as a prospect. So I'm all for it. I love Trey Amos. I love the UCLA guy, the defensive end, the defensive end there that can clean up Nick Bosa's scraps and help him out. Yeah, I love this draft.
Yep, I think it's solid across the board. So really like it. Definitely let us know your thoughts in the comments, especially for Niners fans. Do you like what we did? Do you think that kind of puts you back on the track, gives you some reprieve for the departures that you had on your team to kind of get back in action? We obviously got Robert Saleh coming back, so I think that's huge. Your defense was the best defense in the league when he was under you. I think Robert Saleh is definitely more of a defensive coordinator than a head coach.
Yeah.
And so to have him come back just focusing on the defense side of the ball is a smart move for Shanahan to bring him back. So definitely let us know in the comments. Like I said, make sure you like, comment, subscribe if you like what you see. Also, make sure you check out other mock drafts, and then make sure you get ready for our final mock draft that is coming next week as we officially prepare for the draft here in just 9 days as we're recording this here on a Tuesday. So whenever we're releasing this. So as always, thank you so much, and we'll catch you next time here on All Things Football.